Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your gracious host, D Scott, coming in. Another episode of Hardcore Casual MMA. Been trying to get a video out this past week and before. It's been hectic, working a full-time job, taking care of the kids. Life be life, and you know how that goes. But anyways, enough about me. We're gonna break down UFC Fight Night Paris, Imavov versus Caio Borrahlo, upcoming this weekend. Is going to be a banger and has big implications for the middleweight division in this fight. So we're also going to discuss the status of the middleweight division and what these upcoming fights mean and how it all could possibly shake out. Follow along with me. Let's get into it. Yep. So with Imavov versus Caio Borrahlo. First off, we're gonna start with Imavov. He's a 16-4-1. Had a no contest against Chris Curtis a couple years back. That's his one. And his last fight was a TKO knockout versus Adesanya. Beautiful performance. Really got him in the title contention. And then we thought at the time that he was probably going to get a title shot after that performance. But the way things have shaken out in the middleweight division, he's here fighting Imavov. But I think the UFC maybe favored Shamaev for a little bit and went ahead and gave him that title shot ahead of Imavov. But anyways, yeah, his last loss was, I believe, in 2023 versus Strickland, which was a pretty good fight. It was relatively close, but Strickland pulled it out. And I think Imavov has gotten a lot better since then and is really looking to be a good prospect. With Caio Borrahlo, Caio the Natural Borrahlo, one of the fighting nerds out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's coming in with a 17-1 record. 17-1, has no losses in the UFC. His recent victory was against Jared Cannonier. Great fight. Absolute great fight. Had to go back and watch that one. That really got him going as a contender. He already had motion. He had a couple good wins. Beautiful knockout performance, TKO, I believe, early in the first round against Paul Craig. Mean 1-2 and set him flat. He's developing into quite a fighter. But how these two will match up would be good story to tell. So Imavov, he's more of a boxer. Has a bit of a long guard. He likes to leave that lead hand out there, and use it to jab, also use it to, block and things like that. He's a little bit bouncy on his feet, and he's more of a counter striker. Imavov loves to take his time counter, and he loves to get clean shots. So as volume, a lot of times he won't throw a lot of volume, but when he throws, usually he's trying to connect, and he does connect a lot. Has great combos with that boxing style, and that was present in the fight against Adesanya. Adesanya made one mistake switching stances in front of him, and Imavov dropped a bomb on him, a bomb, and that was that. Love his style. Borrahlo, he's I believe he fights more southpaw. He's in the southpaw stance most of the time. He's got a little bit of wrestling. So does Imavov. Imavov also has the wrestling in his back pocket. Borrahlo tends to I think use his wrestling a little bit more. Imavov uses his wrestling, and I think he uses it more to set up his hands to give his opponent something to think about, the takedown, so he can set up his hands. He will use his takedowns and get control from time to time and try to find a finish like that. But Borrahlo's wrestling is very good, and his jiu-jitsu is pretty good. Although lately he has, in becoming a contender, and all fighters had a pressure of being entertaining. That he's keeping his fights on the feet as much as he can. Finding, making entertaining, exciting fights, and also finding some finishes. Um, yeah, Borrahlo has like this Henry Cejudo-esque type style. He's real bouncy, very quick. He loves that his 1-2 is super good. His combos are good as well. He likes to throw the low kicks and the body kicks. That'll be probably effective since they'll be in opposite stances. Um it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's very, very, hard to call these fights with these middleweight contenders at this time, but we'll get into that. But you know, Nazarin, I think his path to victory would be more being patient, um waiting, letting Borrahlo be aggressive and him being patient and finding his shots, while Borrahlo is coming in, trying to be aggressive. Because I think Borrahlo would probably be a little bit more aggressive than Imavov in this fight. Yeah, but I believe you know the longer the fight plays out on the feet, it may give Imavov more of a chance if they both get tired, and depending on how their gas tanks are. This is a really interesting fight to see where these guys are at in their skills this time, and a big test for each other and to get to that belt. But I feel like um if Borrahlo can implement his wrestling and use that to his advantage, it will help him out a lot. In the fight, Nazanin fought Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen was able to take Imavov down and get some control time, but Brendan Allen gets a little bit too overzealous going for submissions, and he winds up being the one getting taken down and getting control. But if Borrahlo can mix his wrestling and control Imavov like that, I think he can win this. He's very, very highly possible to get a TKO just with his athleticism and talent. That works both ways though. Imavov is just as talented on the feet, but I think Borrahlo has maybe a few more tools and tactics, and uh great, outstanding coaching behind them. With the fight nerds and that team, what they've been doing lately in the UFC has just been amazing. And I can't say that enough. I'm a big fan of the fight nerds. But in my opinion, I think I'm gonna go with Borrahlo on this fight. I think Borrahlo is going to get it done. Um, I say he gets a finish. Either way, I feel like this fight may not make it the full 5 rounds if they're in good condition. If they don't get super tired and lazy, you know what I'm saying. Which that also could lead to a finish as well. But I think both of them have pretty good chins. So if they're not, sharp and making good connections, in those later rounds, then it could go to a decision. But I'm gonna side with Borrahlo on this one. Um, and that's what I'm gonna pick for Borrahlo versus Imavov. But also, we had to get into this conundrum in middleweight. I mean, it's a good thing for the fans. The middleweight division is on fire right now. Complete fire. In my opinion, like I said before, right now it's the best division in the UFC. Has a lot of good matchups and possibilities. A lot of contenders, great talented contenders people want to see fight. So the other upcoming fight is Anthony Hernandez versus Rene DeRitter, which Hernandez just beat Delize, finished him, and DeRitter beat Robert Whitaker, big win. Yeah, so DeRitter came up a big win versus Robert Whitaker. Almost lost that fight, almost got finished, but he toughed it out. Very resilient fighter. He pushed me in the mind of Adrikas in a way with some of his style and how sloppy he can get at times when he's tired, but still tough and resilient, hard to get out of there. Always stays in the fight. Fluffy Hernandez also a tough fighter, great chin, great cardio and wrestling, pushes the pace. So this fight is going to be great. It's going to be a good fight, and it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out and, who is going to be the title contender for Khamzat Chimaev. Because you see, if it doesn't matter because they have to outperform each other basically. So hopefully this motivates these fights to be a lot more entertaining. Imavov versus Borrahlo and DeRitter versus Fluffy Hernandez, because whoever the winner of these two fights are not going to fight each other, but they're going to decide which one of them is going to fight Chimaev for the title. So this is going to be interesting, and it'd be crazy if they turn around and the winners do fight each other. You never know with the UFC, that could happen. But I'm also at this point, I'm not really counting Dricus out to be back in title contention. I think all it will take is a couple wins for him. He could beat any of these four fighters between Fluffy Hernandez. He could beat Rene DeRitter. He could beat Imavov. He could beat Borrahlo. So, Dricus is still in the picture. Then also we have Adesanya and Strickland lingering out there. Adesanya, of course, which is likely and not likely, but he win a couple fights, he would be right back in the title picture because of his name and the value and how much he sells. Robert Whitaker, although highly unlikely at his age and the way he's performing, he could have a couple good wins and be back in title contention. And coming up the ranks, you got Kopylov, who's an exciting kickboxer, great style, fun to watch. You got Kopylov who could come up the ranks. We also got, who else do we have? I can't think off the top of my head. Brendan Allen. You got Brendan Allen lingering in there. Then you got the other veteran Paulo Acosta who could have a run and still not too late for him, which these, are unlikely, but you've got a plethora of matchups to make. So it's going to be interesting how all of this shakes out, what becomes of the middleweight division. And I feel like we're in a historic period in the middleweight division, and it's going to be a good division to watch for years to come. So fans, keep your eyes out on the middleweight division. Also, yeah, on that fight, Borrahlo, he has to have to mix it up and be safe when he's going in and out of range, because he could easily get caught. He could easily get caught by Imavov if he's becomes predictable and starts showing patterns. Imavov is a great counter fighter and boxer. He will pick up at the time. He may start a little slow at times, but once he picks up on your repetition and things you do, he can find those shots and create damage. But I think Borrahlo may, beat Imavov with his activity and being a smart fighter and keep it safe, without being able to get hit with those big shots that could be fighting. But I think that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm glad you stayed in here with me. Keep liking, commenting, sub to the channel, share the channel. We're on the way, trying to get 100 subscribers. Tune in with me. I'll be getting another video out here pretty soon. And that's that on UFC Paris, Imavov versus Ohio in the state of the middleweight division. Y'all be safe. Love. Peace.